This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands, where we have got a very limpy and uncomfortable looking Avoca male. My name is Steve, joined by Sebastian Rombi on camera. Welcome to the Sabi Sands and to Safari Live once again. How are we all doing? It is a beautiful 14 degrees Celsius, 62 degrees Fahrenheit, and you know you can connect with us using the hashtag Safari Live. We'd love to hear from you. Now, for those of you just joining who have not been on the dam cam all night long, this Avoca male with the Nkuhuma Pride with some cubs in tow killed a buffalo here near to Vuyatela camp. Now, we are just waiting for the sun to rise a little bit more and for the guests in Vuyatela Lodge to get up and get moving before we go closer. But with my vantage, I could actually see a couple lionesses down the valley towards the rooms, and I got a glimpse of two, maybe only one, of the little Nkuhuma cubs. So some of you who might have been watching last night would have watched the rodeo battle royale on the dam cam of the lions killing a buffalo. But before that, they were interested in chasing around a very large and rotund hippopotamus. And as we speak, behind this male is a Vuyatela pan. There are two hippos in the pan. There's a lion in front of the pan, and there's Nkuhuma Pride off to our right that we will go and show you in a little while once everything is satisfactory. Everyone's excited that we're back. Well, thank you, everybody. Welcome back to you all as well. This little guy here, we're not quite sure. When we arrived, he moved, and he didn't look very comfortable. He didn't move very fast. I'm not sure what leg he was not favoring, but he did not look at all comfortable, and with that very nice gash on his lip. That is not new, but very good. As we sit here, we can smell the smell of death from up the valley. And I think this guy probably got thirsty, came to drink, because his belly is rather round, but it's not the fullest I've seen a lion's belly before. And I think he came to drink, and I think the effort of having to crawl or hop all the way back is a bit much for him at the moment. And the buffalo does go a very long way. I could only count 3 lionesses from the distance with this male, so it should go a very long way. Well, very good news for everybody. There's someone else on drive with me. I wonder if you can guess who that is.
Hello, good morning. Welcome back to Djuma. Well, I suppose I'm giving myself a welcome there, of course, because you've all been here all the time. Very nice start to the drive with some lion action, and those of you watching the dam cam last night no doubt enthralled. I have begun the morning with some sand, a bit of grass. I did see a bird, 2 birds, but I didn't want to shine a spotlight on them. And so that has been the beginning to my drive so far. Now we're at the back end of the winter, which is quite exciting, really. I love August because it has the promise of spring, but is not quite there yet. And so I suppose what it is a sense of delayed gratification that pervades throughout the month. It's not too hot yet either. Please do ask us any questions you'd like to, of course. Hashtag Safari Live on the tweet, otherwise the YouTube chat stream. I no longer have to say hashtag Wild Wonderland Live Show or hashtag CGTN Wild, all a bit of a mouthful over the last few weeks. I'm glad I didn't say that by mistake to start off with. Our plan today is going to be to drive the northern boundary, obviously all the lions around where Steve is, except perhaps the purple-eyed lioness's new cubs, who I don't think we've been introduced to just yet, and so we'll try and find hers, unless she's, I don't No, she's not the mother of the cubs we've met, I don't think. Anyway, I'm very out of touch at the moment. So we'll go across to Buffelshoek Dam, head down south, that's the northeast corner, head down south from there and see if we can't pick up on a spotted cat. Word on the blower is, of course, that Hosana, the great male leopard, most famous leopard in all the universe, has gone to Londolozi again, which is a bit irritating. Linda, you say you like my new hat. Linda, this is not a new hat. This hat is very old, but thank you very much for liking it nevertheless. I just haven't worn it for a while, mainly because everybody I work with says it looks bad. Anyway, there it is. It's on for now. As soon as the sun comes out, I shall replace it with a peaked cap so that my smooth visage shall not become sullied by the harshness of the soon-to-be spring African sun. Oh, you're all asking who's on camera. Gendry's on camera, that's why I didn't say. Gendry's on camera and Sebastian is on camera on the other car, and they will be on camera for the foreseeable future. And yes, that's basically the beginning to my drive. Now we must try and find some biology. And while we try and find some biology, at the moment, Stephen Falconbridge is going to be covering the bulk of this drive.
Thanks, James. How many of you guessed it was going to be James Hendry himself in the other vehicle? Well, we are here still with the Evoca male, and the sun is slowly starting to crest the horizon. Still a little bit of time still until it gets fully up, so you'll notice we are in the infrared, and this male is looking off longingly at the buffalo that we haven't yet spied, but with my binoculars I was able to see there's another Evoca male there, and at least 3 adult lionesses that I so far have seen with one little cub. Most likely both cubs, but we're going to see. So Jamie's quite excited because she was telling me that Amber Eyes or Purple Eye has got suckle marks, everybody. So we might pay attention to either one of them, and if they are here, whether they walk off somewhere. We did hear some lions calling when I was getting my car ready, coming from the north. So who knows if either of those 2 adults... Okay, so everybody's confirming Purple Eye was seen here. So we'll see if it was her who has suckle marks or if it's Amber Eyes. And well, by following either one of them, we could be as lucky as Jamie was while I was in the Mara to follow. Ooh, that's a very nice smell of buffalo rumen that's just wafted across us there. Oof, that's fantastic. That might be lion poo. I'm not quite sure. There's a bit of a mingling of smells at the moment. As the day starts to warm, the air will start moving, and with it will bring all of the smells around us. Lots of tracks and dung of buffalo coming through. Courtney, you want to know which animal I missed the most? Well, what a question that is, hey? I missed Sebastian, of course. He's the funniest animal I know. Well, the little Chief Hosana, no doubt you all know, is my favorite animal. And it's really good to see him again. He will come back. He knows I'm back now. Well, he will because he watches the show. He is one of the subscribers and he's watching. He'll be coming back. He's like, Steve's back. And Tristan will be back on Sunday. So he's like, I'm going to turn around and come all the way back. I'm sure that is the case. But what I've been dying to look at is the little Nkuhuma cubs. And the Nkuhuma cubs is something that I am dying to see. And what I can tell you for sure, everybody, is that I've spotted one a little while ago with my binoculars, walking through the grass, belly pretty much touching the floor. Oof, look at his mouth, everybody. Now we're back in the color. Ooh. He is not looking like he's had a very good night, does he, Seb?
Yeah. Rough night at the pub.
Okay, well, the lions are very close to the camp. Very, very close indeed to the camp. And they were making a few noises before, because obviously in a camp we have people that are moving through camp. And every now and again they spot someone on foot. And lions don't like seeing people on foot. So that is the issue. We can't go too close just yet until everybody's up and out. But as soon as the camp empties and the guys are on game drive, we'll go and see exactly what's going on with these lionesses. They're defending cubs, they're defending a kill. So lionesses can be quite something on foot. I've never been properly revved by the Nkuhumas, and when I say revved, it's when they're... But then I've never seen the Nkuhumas with very small cubs on foot. So you want to know if lions sleep at night? And lions will sleep at any stage, really. They can sleep most of the day, most of the night, depending on their hunger. If they're hungry, they can go for long walks in the night until they catch something. But if they catch something, they can spend hours feeding and then hours sleeping next to it. They do need to sleep an enormous amount to digest the protein. Oh, he's going to get up. Oh, his right foot is absolutely poked, everybody. Oh, my word. Oh, he's going to be in a very bad way. Sorry about that. That right foot is in a very bad state. I've seen worse. I've seen lions and animals come back from worse than that, but this is not Limpy that had the back leg injury. He is going across now to go and claim some of that buffalo for himself, but that right front foot is in a very bad... Oh, my word, that looks painful, doesn't it, Seb? It looks broke. He's putting a bit of weight on it. I've seen lions come back from worse injuries than that. And the fact that there's meat around and he's got brothers to hunt and he's got the pride of lions to hunt means he will probably recover, but it's very hard to say whether he'll recover fully from something like that. And he's putting a bit more weight on it now. Remember, we saw Tingana last year would also have quite a bad limp, and the longer he walked for, the more he sort of walked off that pain. He's putting a lot more weight on it now than he was. He's going to go and investigate what all those lions were making a noise about before. That does look ouch. So he's walking directly towards where we saw those lions, but they're all in the bushes. We can't see them. You can see how close. We're not going to show you the lodge, of course, but the lodge is just off to the left. So we'll go there shortly. The vehicles are going to be out in a few moments, and then we'll be able to go and show you what buffalo it was that got caught, and show you which members of the Nkuhuma pride. Now, all around his feet there, you can see all of the dung on the floor. So he's putting a lot more weight on it now. The lions use their feet for pulling, for grabbing, and if he was on a rodeo on the back of a buffalo and the buffalo kicked him around, there's a very good chance he might have tweaked something there, but he seems to be putting a lot more weight on there. Okay, so Rexon is out now on drive. So everybody, he just had a little bit of a stiff leg there. You know when you twist something or tweak something, just listening to the radio quickly. Okay, well, we're going to send you back over to James while I wait for Rexon to give me some information. And when you come back to us, maybe we will be there soon.
We have found not much since I last saw you, but that's okay. I'm quite enjoying reacquainting myself with Djuma. We are now going to approach the great and wondrous waterhole that is Buffelshoek Dam, Buffelshoek Waterhole, which I believe is now a small mud puddle, although that too may have dried up in the interim. So I think most of the action is going to be happening around the two pumped pans on Djuma. Theirs being the ones in front of the two lodges. No tracks as yet. Well, not that I've seen. I could easily have driven over some, of course. There are lots of hyenas, actually. Hyenas moving up and down, as is their wont. Oh, there's also the lovely smell. They burnt the fire breaks a while back, but that smell of burnt grass at this time of the year is very nostalgic for me. Makes me think of the coming spring and the end of winter and holidays in the mountains. Very nice. I think also you'll find that there's going to be quite a lot of fire from now on. There's a fairly good fuel load, and that means that the grass is quite long and there's quite a lot of it compared with last year, and so I think that the chances of fire are quite high this year. Right, here we are at the great water hole, looking around, hoping to see a spotted cat or anything. Aegis, I've got no idea where Tingana and Tundi are. Absolutely no idea whatsoever. Apparently they were on the dam cam over the last few days, but I'm afraid I've got no clue where they are. I haven't been around, I'm afraid. We've had buffalo here some time back, and there is the magnificence that is this mud puddle now, and I would be very surprised to find anything other than the most enthusiastic elephants coming to use that mud. Perhaps a buffalo, maybe a water pig. Let's have a little listen. Very subtle start to the day. Couple of Franklins. There's a long-billed crombic alarm calling there. Way in the distance, I can hear it. I don't think you'll be able to hear a ground hornbill. There are definitely some birds that are not particularly satisfied behind us, making a few alarms. Hyena away in the distance. There's one closer by. It's interesting how that sound here echoes, which it doesn't in the Mara. And I think it's probably because of the trees, I'm imagining. Quite a few hyenas reacquainting themselves with each other. That's echoing off the banks of the riverbed that comes up from Buffelshoek Dam. Oh, and here is Wingston. Good morning, Wingston. For those of you who don't know, Wingston Churchbill is not visible to the camera. There he is. He is a hornbill that has very clearly been fed frequently by those having their evening and morning drinks here on the dam wall. Can you see him there? He's not seeable because he's so close to the car. All right, Steve's managed to get into a position where he can see the buffalo carcass, so let's go back to him and find out exactly what happened to the poor and hapless beefalo bull.
Yes, we have indeed. Well, there goes one leg. And there goes the rest. There's the stomach content in front, and this male lion with the injured leg is managing to still maneuver this buffalo around. It's one of the lionesses at the background, the sub-adults. The rest of the lions are off behind this bush here. We'll go and have a look at them shortly. We just wanted to show you the buffalo. He's using his injured foot. He has been eating. You can see by his belly there. Now, even a buffalo that's been half eaten like that, to do what he's doing requires an enormous amount of power. Enormous amount of power. So we're going to see if we can find those cubs for you shortly. No doubt they're probably hidden behind the bushes here. I got a view of about 4 lionesses. Morning, Richard. You want to know if a broken leg could be certain death for a lion? And it all depends on the pride and the coalition. I remember having a lioness in the Kruger National Park that had a broken shoulder and it could not walk very well. And yet it had had a sister that managed to kill repeatedly close by to where it was sort of stashed, because the other lioness had cubs and it was just killing. It was the dry season and there was lots of impala coming down to the muddy wallows to drink, and after probably 3 weeks to a month, that lioness with the broken shoulder just kind of walked out of there as if nothing had happened. So I was amazed. She always had a bit of a limp after that, but she had a broken shoulder from maybe a zebra kicking her, or who knows really what happened. So if there's someone to support, then most certainly the animal will do okay. If there's no one to support, in the case of what happens with leopards, then they will really, really struggle. But we saw Tingana last year with his injury, his illness. He just scavenged off of Tandi and Hosana because he's a dominant male, and he was able to do quite well. So I think it's all relative to the situation, to the coalition or the pride, and also the time of year might make a big impact as well. So I don't think anything is for certain in nature. But the resilience of these animals and the injuries that they can overcome is really, really quite something. So you might hear another vehicle. That's Rexon come in to join us now. The light is now good. And that is some fresh buffalo meat, everybody. We heard a few rumblings last night of buffaloes. It just sounded like buffaloes moving around water. You didn't hear the bellows of a buffalo being killed. You're not far away from here. James said he didn't hear anything. But then with our rooms, with our sliding doors and our fan on, maybe it's possible that's the reason. Zeresh, most certainly buffaloes have got a great sense of smell. It's often that, I don't know if you've ever seen buffalo herds with us before, or buffalo bull, when they stand up and look at us, they lift their head, sticking their nose right into the air. That's the classic sort of warning, or should I say alert position of a buffalo, as they lift their noses up into the air. They have very, very good sense of smell, and they do most certainly detect lion. Lion have got a very rotten smell to them. It's one of the reasons why lion and leopard will often roll in all sorts of dung and all sorts of other smells to try and mask that really sort of gross smell that follows them around. And all the animals out here have got a very keen sense of smell and are very aware of all sorts of things. I'm sure lions can smell different animals and know, ooh, I know those animals. I'm going to go get me one of them. Some photographers with us. See, so this guy here with his injury, if he gets a good meal in and then another meal, it's amazing how far that goes to healing his leg. You can see on the top of his leg there, Seb, is that an injury there? I wonder, what is that? Looks like a bit of a hole. It could have been a bite. It could have been a fight with somebody. It's not uncommon for lion and hyena to bite other carnivores like this on the legs, shattering that leg, because obviously it makes it difficult for them to move around. It's not as easy to get a lion around the throat as it is to bite him on the bum or on the legs. But he doesn't seem to have any other injuries, so I'm not sure what that could be from. Maybe in the tussle with the buffalo he got pulled into something. Maybe the buffalo gave him a flick and it caught him just on the foot there. It's really hard to say. We weren't here. But if any of you have ever been horse riding or holding something very tightly and it hooks, a rope or a harness, it can really, really hurt you. Lynn, injured lions can be very, very dangerous. Initially, not so much, but as they get hungrier, as their ability to hunt decreases and their hunger drive starts to increase, then the injured lions, injured leopards are generally the most dangerous animal. It's because they get so hungry, they're actually starving, that they forget about every other fear they potentially could have, and that is what happens. You don't ever want to, and often when you find out situations where people have been attacked by leopard or lion, you'll often find that animal is sick or injured or very old or starving, and that driver, that their fear of man is completely outweighed by the fact that they're hungry. I mean, look at this power, everybody. He's injured and he's picking up 300 kilograms, moving. I mean, the buffalo on the floor like that probably weighs about 600. So a lot of it's been eaten, so it's probably at about the 400 kilogram stage now, 800 pounds. And he's just pushing it around like it's nothing. The whole back quarters is gone. I'm just going to listen. Let us all listen and see if you can hear him eating. Yet determined the sex of this buffalo. I haven't seen the top of the head, but it's not a fully grown buffalo. Okay, a couple more lionesses at the back there. We will reposition after this and try and get some of the lionesses in shot, and maybe we'll be able to find for you some of the cutest little cubs in the whole wide world. Wouldn't that be something? How would it be possible, Seb, on my first drive back, that we get to see the cubs? I was asking Jamie and Trish last night, where could I go to find them? Kristen, Seb, did you see ticks on the buffalo there? Kristen wants to know how long it'll take for the ticks to fall off. Well, I suppose if they're very big fat ticks, they might stay on for a bit longer, but generally, when an animal dies, the ticks fall off straight away. Generally, there's plenty on them still. Those are big, fat, blood-gorged females there. But, sure, there's still quite a few. I'm not sure, Kristen, as far as I'm aware, when an animal dies and the blood stops pumping through its veins, all the parasites generally fly off it to go and find somewhere else to continue their life cycle. Okay, well, we're going to stay right here, everybody, and it looks like James has decided to do a spot of birding this morning.
We've found your first bit of biology of the morning, the magpie shrike, in glorious detail. The sun has yet to come up, but the magpie shrike is already on the forage. He has a few friends around. They're being very silent this morning, not shouting at each other. I suppose it's quite an exciting time of the year for the birds because the breeding season's almost upon us. About a month away, I suppose. Maybe a little bit longer. There were some hornbills there that have now gone behind the bush. Anyway. Oh, no, there we go. Nice to start with a bird I haven't seen for about 6 weeks. Lots of buffalo activity around here, so I'm not surprised the lions have returned. And I'm pretty sure the buffalo are only here because of the pumped water. And I suppose also that they have been denuding the areas around the big now the water's finished there, the grass has become denuded, so they've returned to Djuma. And I mean, I'm pretty sure they've been harassed by lions wherever they go. Apparently we had a dip of signal there, I'm sorry about that. I apologise. Lots of hyena activity all over the roads as well, but nothing in the way of leopard cats just yet. But with any luck we'll get lucky. With any luck we'll get lucky. Some elephant tracks, some rhino tracks. Of course, the major difference between here and the Mara from a guiding perspective is how you find animals. There, you just look for piles of cars or you scan the grasslands. Here, you really got to concentrate hard all the time because there could be something lurking behind every bush. And we must look at the ground for tracks, figure out how old they are, where they've gone. I find this more challenging actually from a guiding perspective. Although here also, I think there are probably a greater diversity of smaller things to talk about. I'm not sure why my picture is frozen. We'll try and sort that out. You can still hear me, so let's go back to the lions with Steve.
James's picture's frozen. Okay, well, we are just moving away from that kill for the moment, following a lioness over here. And I think there might be some cubs here. Yes, okay, there's the cubs. See, she's still a little bit upset because she saw some people. So there's 2 cubs just underneath this lioness here, everybody. There they go running off. Just see them running off at the back there. Oh, hello. We'll make another plan, everybody, but this is what happens with lions. Sorry about my brakes. What happens with lions, there they are. And leopards, generally, I mean, when we track them and they see you, it takes them a little bit of time to get back into sort of a relaxed state, and especially when they've got cubs. Food is not so much, but cubs is definitely something that affects them. And when we are close to a lodge, unfortunately, there are people moving around. It's very hard. Okay, everybody. Well, gremlins are back in fashion, and we're going to send you over to Tech Loop.